Hey, what's up, everybody? Long time no see. It's been a while since I've had a video out, so I figured I would sit down and make one. Now, I hope you guys are having a great day today. Mine is not ideal. I've spent the past 3 days in bed with a stomach bug. I am still not 100%, but you know what? Who's ever really 100% ever in life, right? So, I know it's been a long time since I put a video out. I tried to last weekend, but my system just was not cooperating. But also, I have been super busy. I'm in my final term, on my final course, on my final project for my degree, and I'm just trying to get that buttoned up. But I did take that as an opportunity to create something that maybe some newbies or even some old guys in the Linux community might find interesting and maybe a little bit helpful. So, what have I been doing? Let's go ahead and launch a browser here. It's going to bring up my webpage, which is jpedmedia.com. You can find me there. It's been a while since I've put a new post out. I've got a few in the works, but don't hold me to it because I've been super busy. But again, I'm going to start getting some of these out. But if we click on our resources tab right up here, and then we go to Linux Lab, we can click on that and come to this tab. I know, click, click, click. It's way too many clicks for this, but you know what? That's what I got at the moment. So we're going to click on Linux Lab. And you can also go to linuxlab.jpedmedia.com, which I could have said from the beginning, but hey, I just kind of wanted to plug my website as well. So that's going to bring up this here, this Tux Permissions. Now, what I've done is I've created a web app that allows users to get a better grasp of the read, write, execute privilege that's set by Linux in the file system. Kind of give you a little visual representation and hands-on active learning when it comes to the read, write, execute permissions and octal notation on those, because I've seen a lot of people make comments that they don't understand what chmod 600, what's chmod 777, what are these numbers, what do they mean? So when you compare that to the RWX that you see when you do the LL command in your terminal, I just kind of wanted to give you guys a visual representation of how that works and what it's all about. So what we're going to do here is you're going to come up with this login screen. Now, this will all change after my project is finished and passed, because this is all set up for a bogus company that I had to create for my project. So this is more company based, but we're going to go down here to create a new session login, and we're going to make a username. So we'll call our user Tex. And then we'll give them a password, a super secret password, and we'll hit enter. Now we're going to go ahead and enter that password again, and we're going to initialize our session. Now the password, when you create your account, doesn't do anything except create your own individual environment. So you can create a fake name. I don't care. The whole account thing is not for any type of tracking of anything except for what you've done in here, so you can see only your stuff and not everybody else's. So what you're going to be confronted with then is this dashboard. Tux Permissions Control Panel, visualizing Linux file system permissions for OmniCloud cybersecurity. So see, that's my fake company that needed some help with their sysadmins who were struggling with file permissions and leaving vulnerabilities open. So this is what I've come up with as a cure for that. Now, this is going to give them a test area to actually work on their file permissions and what each setting means. So what do we got here? We got to add new resource, which you're going to be able to add a file or a directory. So you just type in the name, file or directory. You can locate it wherever you want to in your currently created fake file system down here. You can set your owner to user, root, whatever. And then you have these little check boxes here. We have owner, group, others, and you got these RWX. And you can see some of them are already checked. And you can see down here in octal value, we've got 644 written. So here's where we get into where the meat and potatoes of this app came into play, what I really wanted to focus on and what I wanted people to understand. And that is this 644 right here. How does that coincide with RWX? Well, RWX is basically read, write, and execute permissions on a file. If you're an old guy for Linux, you know this. I'm not telling you anything you didn't already know about, but how does RWX get converted to 644 or 700 or 777 or whatever else? Well, this octal notation down here is basically set up because these are bits and bits in binary. And so we have 1, 2, 3 bits in binary. So what is the first bit in binary? If you have 0 and 1, 0 and 1, 0 and 1. Well, if it's off, it's 0. If it's 1, we have 1 in the first bit. If this one's off, we have 0. So that would be 0. But if it's on in the second bit, that would be 2, because in binary, we've got 1, then 2. And then in this third row for the read, if it's off, obviously, again, it's 0. But if it's on, it is what? It's 4 because it goes by binary. So we've got our 3 bits here, and each one of these bits has a value, and when you add those values up, that's where you come up with these numbers. And there's 3 numbers here, the 6, the 4, and the 4, and they coincide with owner, group, and others. So all we're doing is taking the on-off value of read, write, and execute, converting it to binary, getting the binary value of it, and adding those numbers together to get one total number for the 3. Very basic, very simple, but I know a lot of people struggle with that. I'm not saying that to be rude. I've just seen a lot of questions about it, and I've actually been asked multiple times, hey, how does the octal value number work? It kind of confuses me. So this whole website, this whole web app was just basically created around this. So you can change your file permissions here, and you can watch down here and see how your octal notation actually changes your octal value of your file. Now, there's certain file permissions that are safe, and there's certain file permissions that are not safe, and all that kind of stuff. So you want to understand what each one means. So 777 means right here, it says access logic means the owner has read, write, execute, the group has read, write, execute, and others have read, write, execute. That means anybody that has access to your file can do whatever they want to or with your file. Execute it, write over it, read it, whatever they want to do. If you take off the X, they can do everything but execute the file. If you take off the W, they can do everything but they can only do the read. But if we add the X back on, then you can read and execute. So you see how this works. And again, all you new guys, you might not understand this. All you old guys, I know this is nothing new to you. But so yeah, I wanted just a place where people could goof around with the notation. They could see the octal value when they compared it to actually physically changing the read, write, execute permission with a click of a mouse and understand what was actually happening with this octal value. That was the whole brainchild behind this web app. So let's actually see it in action. So let's create a file, and we'll call it test1. And it's just going to be a file. We'll keep it in the root directory. We'll leave it as root and staff, but we're going to give it permission of 644, just like everything else. So there we go. I'm a little off on my stuff today. My brain's still a little fried from being sick over the weekend. So we're at 644. This is your basic standard file permission in Linux. This is what a lot of stuff is actually already preset to. But we're going to go with 644. It's going to be a test1 file in our root directory, and we're going to go ahead and add item to database. Now, when we come down here, we can see that file was now created along with our other basic file system for our quote-unquote Linux system. We have our root directory, we have our var directory, our home directory, and our etc directory. Now, you can click down into these so we can see we've got home text, and there's nothing down in there. We've got etc. You can click down into the etc. We got a couple of generic pre-made files there. You can't get into the files or anything. I didn't want to go that in depth, but just to kind of give the user a visual representation of a file system that they could manipulate and change things on. And then over here we've got the edit. You can edit your file permissions here. You can delete files over here, but we've added that file in. So what happens if we add some unsafe permissions here? So let's do test2, and this is going to be a file. We'll put it in our home directory, and we're going to give it full permissions. So we're going to give it 777. This would be the same as going chmod 777. This is unsafe. This is what everybody, anybody that sees this and can get to this file can do whatever they want with it. So let's go ahead and add this to our database. And what do we got? Nope, we came up with a potential security risk detected. The file test2 is set to 777. This allows others to modify or execute your files. So we can either choose to keep this current setup, even though it's risky. We can change it to a safe 644, or we can discard the file. Well, let's go ahead and keep it as risky. And we're going to come down here and check our file system. And we are going to go into our home directory. And oh, look, there we are. And it's different because it is in red, and we have our little warning symbol next to it. And if we hover over it, it says this file was created with high access permissions. Please ensure this is intentional. So this just kind of gives you a visual representation. Hey, you created this file. It's got high access permissions. Are you sure this is what you want? And so that just gives you the option to do that. So let's just say we would say, no, maybe we don't want that. So we can click the edit button. We can come back up here and we can drop this down to 644, just like the other one. We can update. And now we can see test 2 is safe again. Now we can go and we can check here too. If we've created files, we can run our audit, and you can see we got our system security, we've got secure, and this challenge status will show you in just a minute. But this shows you everything we've got in our file system already. So we're going to go ahead and close the report. Let's go ahead and create another file, and we'll say test 3, and we're going to leave that in our root directory, and we're going to make this one unsafe. So we're going to do 666. We're going to say add database, and we come back up and we can see, oh, yep, 666. We're going to keep that. So now we're going to go back to our root, and we can see right here again we've got the unsafe file. But now if we click on the audit report, oh, we've got a system security unsecure right here, and we have test 3 right here, and it shows we have a 666 file octal permissions. And read write, read write, read write. Challenge status still passed. So close the report. And now again we can edit or we can delete that file. So let's just go ahead and delete it. Okay. And we've deleted that unsafe file. We run the report again, and you can see we are secure. So let's go ahead and close that report. So that's basically what I've done. That was basically the start of it. It started out with just this, and I wanted something a little more to where, okay, well, let's interact with it a little bit more. Let's create files down here and be able to do stuff. And I thought, well, that's all well and good, but what else can we do? What else can we do that? And this part right here really stemmed from the whole project portion of it. And I don't know if this will stay in my production web app that I'm just going to have out there. But if I click right here on security challenge, and we open up the security challenge, you can see I got a little timer that pops up. Well, what that did is just seeded my file system with unsafe files. And I got to go through and I have to find the unsafe files in time before this clock runs out. So you got to go look through and find whatever files you look and see the file permissions might be questionable. So, oh, we got a 666 right there. So let's go ahead and just delete that file and click OK. Let's go back. Let's go into var. We got a 777. Let's delete that guy. Okay. And let's go back. Let's go into home. We got private keys 777. Let's click down into that real quick. Nothing in there, but we got private keys 777. Let's delete that and click OK. And oh, we got them all. We got system secured, initializing deep packet inspection, checking directory permissions, no vulnerabilities found. All challenge files have been neutralized. Integrity check 100%. Great job, admin. The infrastructure is safe. We're going to return to the dashboard. We're going to run our audit report, and we have passed our challenge, and we have a secure system. So let's go ahead and close that report, and let's try that again and see what happens if we don't get them in time. So we're going to start the challenge. It's going to take about 60 seconds. I should have dumbed down this timer a little bit before I did this video, but so we've started another challenge. Let's go back home and kind of look around. So we got a 755 over there, 777 right there. We're not going to go ahead and do anything about it though, because we're going to let this timer run down. In root, we've got a 755, but what do we got in common assets? We got nothing, so that one seems okay. How about in var? We got shadow backup.back. So that's a 777 file permission. We don't want that, but we're again not going to do anything about it. In home, we've got a 666 file permission right there. That one's a bad one too, so we don't want that one around. I'm sure that's probably our last one, but we're going to take another look at the last few since we've got just a couple more seconds. We got a 644, a 640, and a 644. So those ones are all safe as well. Oh, we're running out of time. We got 7 seconds left. What happens if we don't get those files in time? We are going to have a big problem, and the company's going to fire you. Oh man, our system got encrypted. Your failure to secure the file system has now allowed TuxLock 2.0 to exploit the open permissions. So we've got challenge failed, vulnerabilities exploited, and data loss simulated. Acknowledge failure and reset view. I acknowledge my failure. Now if we go to run audit report, we got failed, vulnerabilities exploited, and unsecure. If we go over here, though, after the fact, we can click on Manage, and we can see exactly what files. These are the files it seeded into my system, and these are the ones that had bad file permissions that it wanted us to locate and get rid of. Now, we can go ahead and clear and reset. We can click OK. What happens if we do the audit report? Because why wouldn't you just run the security challenge and then click Manage Challenges and clear it? Well, what happens? Oh, we got failed manual purge right here. The only way you can get a challenge status passed is by actually going in and changing or deleting the files. So yeah, so that's kind of what I've been working on. That's how this whole system works. So you've obviously got terminate session to log you out, and close account will actually close down and delete your user from the system, and so that way it'll clear up my database a bit. But That's what we've got going on. If you want a clean, fresh, open system down here, you can hit Reset System down here and click OK, and it brings you back to your golden image, your very first setup before you added anything to it. And yeah, it brings you back to square one. So that's kind of what I've been working on. That's my project. I plan on expanding this for my web app and for my website. I'm going to introduce a little bit more of the nuts and bolts learning when it comes to Linux. There's a lot of stuff out there covering like your distributions and your window managers and your desktop environments and your different programs and stuff like that. But I see and I know there's stuff out there for this type of stuff as well, but I just wanted a place where people could go and get hands-on with it and mess around with something without worrying about messing up their system. And then I'm also going to have stuff in there that talks about the file system and talks about just the little things like that that come along with Linux. So if there's anything you can think of that might work good on this app that I should add to it or whatever, please, by all means, leave me a message in the comments, shoot me an email, drop me a message somehow, and let me know if you think it's dumb and I shouldn't continue on with it. Hell, let me know that too. I don't really care. It's good to have any input whatsoever. So other than that, this has kind of been my life lately. So I hope you guys found this enjoyable and interesting. And go ahead and head over to my website or to linuxlab.jpedmedia.com and check it out and maybe play around with it a little bit. Let me know what you think. All right. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week. Stay safe and God bless.